Hey, how y'all doing? I had somebody ask me, could I cook a meatloaf? I said, sure, I like meatloaf. I'll cook meatloaf. I like my meatloaf because it combines two of the best things I think that I cook. And one of them is chicken soup and one of them is meatloaf. And I put both of those things together. I take my leftover chicken soup, the broth, and the carrots and celery and the peppers and the onions. You know, I take them out with the broth. I don't put the chicken and the potatoes in my meatloaf. I just take out those vegetables and I take out some broth and I put it right into the meatloaf. Man, you'll get the flavor. You can use any soup. You can do this with Lipton soup. You can do this with Campbell's soup or whatever kind of chicken soup. You could just use chicken broth and use vegetables if you wanted to. But cook your vegetables first. Take your broth, take some carrots, some celery, some peppers, whatever you like. Make sure to cook in the broth, make a little soup out of it. And then put them into your meatloaf. The flavors just go throughout the whole meatloaf, and you just can't beat it. All right, let me show you how to put it together. Okay, here we are at our trusty chicken soup. And you say, Dave, what's up with the chicken soup? We're cooking meatloaf. Well, I know we're cooking meatloaf, but what I like to do is take my chicken soup and put some of it inside my meatloaf. You can't go wrong with it. I've eaten this, and I've eaten most of the chicken out of it, and all I really want is some of this broth. And I'm going to go ahead and take some of that broth, about a cup, maybe a little less than a cup of it, and I'm going to try to make sure I get me some the celery that's in here, and I'm going to try to get some peppers. There's a bunch of green peppers throughout this, and I'm going to get there's onions in this. I'm going to try not to get any of the potatoes or the chicken. I've eaten most of the chicken out of it, and most of the potatoes gone too because I like them. But about a cup of my chicken broth, I'm going to put that right in my meatloaf, and it's going to be wonderful. You can use whatever kind of soup that you want. You can use some Campbell's soup. Well, just chicken broth is pretty much what you need, and I think it's just a little something special with the chicken soup because the chicken soup is wonderful. If you don't want to see how to make chicken soup, then you need to go and watch pot pie video number 1. And the pot pie filling is pretty much just chicken soup filling. So if you want to know how to make chicken soup, go watch pot pie video number 1. Y'all hear the cat in the background. He's not happy. He wants to go outside, but he's not feeling good, so we can't go outside. Now, we're going to use 2 pounds of ground chuck. I like to use the ground chuck because it's a lean hamburger. There's not as much fat in it, so not as much fat and grease is going to end up in my pan. A little bit still going to, but not as much if you use a fat hamburger. This is 86% lean, and most hamburgers 80% lean. So the ground chuck gives you a little more lean meat. Now we take our hamburger, put it right there, and I'm going to add 2 eggs to it. Use 1 egg for every pound of hamburger that you use. I'm going to put that chicken soup right in there. I'm going to try to make sure I don't leave any chicken, potatoes too much if I don't have to. Pretty much just want those peppers, those carrots, and that celery, and those onions in there. Alright, all that flavor from the chicken soup, you just can't beat it. Then I'm going to take me a little bit of some mustard-based barbecue sauce. Not a lot, just going to pour just a little bit, just get a little flavor from that up in there. Then we're going to add some pepper, because you know we got to add some pepper. And we're going to put some salt, about a quarter teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to put some breadcrumbs in there. The breadcrumbs' job is to soak up that moisture. So put about a half a cup of breadcrumbs. Maybe not that much, just enough to soak up the moisture. When you mix it up, if you still have moisture, just add some more breadcrumbs. We're going to hit it with some onion powder. We're going to hit it with some garlic powder. And why not, while we're at it, let's just go ahead and throw us some garlic in it. Also, so let's go ahead and add a tablespoon of garlic. So make sure we get some garlic flavor up in there. And then of course we're going to hit it with some Italian seasoning because y'all know how I like the Italian seasoning. Going to hit it, make sure there's some up in it. And then we're good to go. And all we have to do is mix it up. Just get your hands in there and get it all mixed up. Everybody's got to become one.
We don't want to leave nobody out. We don't want to make sure. And like I said, if you have too much moisture, no big deal. Just go back and add yourself some more breadcrumbs. Oh, that's gonna be good. I like meatloaf. Meatloaf is good. It's a good idea. I made one of these a couple weeks ago. I should have made it for YouTube then. I made one of these a couple weeks ago. I should have made a video of it then, but I did not. Now see, that's a little bit moist, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw some more breadcrumbs on it. Try to take a little bit of that moisture out. And then that's about perfect right there. You want it to be tacky, but not wet. So that way you can form it into a loaf. Look at that, I left a potato in it. Look at that. That's beautiful. Just put it into your baking dish. Pretty much whatever kind of baking dish you want to work with. And then just shape it into a shape of a loaf. Whatever kind of shape you want to work with is fine. The thicker you make it, the longer it'll take to cook it. So try not to make it too thick if you don't have to. I like to make it so that it's about the width I could cut it, and after I slice it, and it'd take 2 slices to make a sandwich. Because I like a meatloaf sandwich. Oh, it's good. Get that all shaped up nicely. Okay. Okay, then I'm going to take some potatoes. I cut up some potatoes. I just made little cubes out of them. And I'm just going to put them all around the edges of my meatloaf here. You can put whatever vegetables you want right here. A lot of times I put some green beans or something, put it around the meatloaf and let it cook. And that way, all that fat that does run out the hamburger will have somewhere to run. It's going to run to our potatoes here and give us some meatloaf flavored potatoes to go along with our meatloaf. Oh, it's going to be good. Alright, now all I have to do is put this in the oven at 350. Depending on the thickness, like I said, is how long I cook it. I'll probably cook this 45 minutes to an hour. Make sure it's done in the middle. Okay, I've been cooking this thing about 45 minutes, 50 minutes or so. My temperature is hitting 160. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out. I had to add some salt and pepper to the potatoes. I forgot that before. I stirred them up in there. They're looking good. They're soft. They're nice. Now, I'm going to cook this thing a little bit longer. First, I'm going to take some ketchup and put me a little ketchup glaze on top of this thing and have it cooked for about 15 minutes. Y'all hear the cat? The cat is not happy. He does not like to be inside. The cat's name is Gato. We call him El Gato for the cat. And El Gato likes to be outside where he can kill things. Of course, he's that kind of cat. He likes to kill snakes and squirrels and lizards and chipmunks and pretty much whatever he can catch, because he's El Gato. Okay, a little glaze of ketchup on top. You can use some tomato sauce if you want to. You don't want to use ketchup, you use tomato sauce or some salsa. Put whatever you want on top of this thing. And I'm going to put it back in the oven about another 15 minutes and we'll be rocking on. Gato wants to go outside. He's not happy. What's up, Gato? See, he's got a wound on his neck right there. That's why he can't go outside. He's a wounded kitty. He has to stay inside and rest. Take a little antibiotic. He'd be okay. Alright, there's our meatloaf. I put it in the oven for about another 15 minutes. And temperature should be up to 170. It'll be well done, fully done, and ready to go. Let me show you how we put this on a plate. Now that's a plate of food. A meatloaf, collard greens, and some potatoes. Oh, it's gonna be good. Alright, I hope y'all like the meatloaf. It's wonderful. It tastes wonderful. It goes pretty much with anything you want to serve. You can serve mashed potatoes, green beans, whatever. I like the potatoes, and I like beans. A lot of times I'll cook beans with the potatoes, with the meatloaf, so it all has kind of the same flavor going on. But you don't have to do that. You can separate it like I did. Potatoes. Potatoes are very nice. They're soft. They taste good. They taste like the meatloaf. You can't beat it. It's very good. Go out and cook yourself a meatloaf. Let me know how it turns out. Y'all have a great day. Thanks.